Now that the BNP, Bangladeshi National Party, has won and Prime Minister Modi was quick to reach out to Tariq-ur-Rahman, do you feel India and Bangladesh can truly reset relations after the strain under Yunus, or has too much trust already been lost? Rushabh Tare says, the recent elections in Bangladesh just concluded. BNP clean swept the elections with two-thirds plus majority. Jamaat too made some gains. Tariq Rahman will most likely be the new prime minister. Dr. Jaishankar had met him in Dhaka during Khalida Zia's funeral. He is Khalida Zia's son. And Prime Minister Modi too wished him. Has there been something going on between India and the BNP? What do you see ahead for Bangladesh, for India, for Yunus and his aides, and the US? Who has stakes here? Okay. So there's been this election in Bangladesh. And the BNP has won a massive majority, right? Two-thirds majority or something like that. And the head of the BNP is Tariq Rahman. He is the son of the late Khalida Zia, the former prime minister of Bangladesh. And Khalida Zia was a 2 or 3 time prime minister of Bangladesh. And so that's the situation. So this guy, Tariq Rahman, is now most likely going to be the new prime minister of Bangladesh. And Dr. Jaishankar was there in Dhaka. He met with this guy when, during the funeral of Khalida Zia, the guy's mother. And the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, has sent out a tweet congratulating Tariq Rahman for his victory. So what's going on? Here's something going on between India and the BNP. Listen, the Bangladeshi elections. You know what kind of elections were held in Bangladesh? Imagine you had elections happening in Nazi-occupied France. France was under Nazi occupation, right? From whatever year to whatever year, 1939, 40 to whatever, until the end of the Second World War, or until the Normandy invasion. France was under Nazi occupation, the Vichy regime, right? So if there was an election in France during Nazi occupation, would you call it a free and fair election? Would you call it a free and fair election in which the major national party is not allowed to stand? Is that a free and fair election? It's not. It's controlled by a foreign occupying force, the Nazis, right? Similarly, the election you had in Bangladesh this time, the Awami League was not allowed to participate. It is a rigged election from the very beginning. It's not a democratic process. And it was held under Mohammed Yunus, who is an unelected dictator or puppet dictator of Bangladesh, right? So the election was rigged from the beginning. And now BNP has won. Now, if the BNP has won, it means they have been allowed to win by the power that controls Bangladesh. Which power controls Bangladesh? The United States. Ever since the coup against Sheikh Hasina happened, the US has been in charge of Bangladesh, right? The Americans effected a regime change in Bangladesh, and they put Mohammed Yunus in the position of chief advisor or whatever the hell he is, right? He's just a puppet, a figurehead. And the army is ruling Bangladesh. So if Tariq Rahman has won and the BNP has won, it's because they have been allowed to win. And most likely they will continue to serve American interests. So just because the Prime Minister has wished this guy, and just because Dr. Jaishankar met him in Dhaka, doesn't mean something is going on between India and this guy, or India and the BNP. Okay? There is no master stroke happening. Maybe relations will be better between India and Bangladesh. Maybe more cordial, more polite relations, less acrimony like we had the past, ever since the coup happened. I mean, this fellow Mohammed Yunus has been putting out these, has been showcasing these books with, Bangladesh capturing, claiming Indian territory, the far east of India, the northeastern states of India, and so on. That's the kind of provocations he's been doing. Maybe with Tariq Rahman, those provocations may cease and the relationship becomes more polite. But it doesn't mean that the relationship improves. Please understand the difference between words and actions. Words can be words don't matter. Words don't matter. The actions is what matters. So the question is, what kind of policies will Bangladesh now have, especially towards India going forward? I very strongly suspect that nothing much will change. Now that Bangladesh now supposedly is back on the democratic train, which it isn't actually, but now we can claim, right? The Americans always do this sham election somewhere or the other, and then they say, okay, everything is fine, and then they control things from behind the scenes. I think that's what's going to happen in Bangladesh. Okay, I don't see any masterstroke from India. Yunus, whatever. He may be retired by the Americans or whatever. He may get a nice plum position somewhere in some other country. Maybe he'll move to New York City or something, or maybe he'll stay in Bangladesh as a highly respected Nobel laureate or whatever. It doesn't matter. Yunus is not important. Yunus is not a powerful person. He is not in power. He's simply the face, the figurehead, the puppet. He's not a person of any importance. Okay, so it doesn't matter what happens to Mohammed Yunus. He is anyway not in power. Now there's going to be this Tariq Rahman guy who's going to be in power. It's kind of like Shehbaz Sharif being in power. That's kind of what it's going to be like. So the Indian government may say that, you know what, we will better relations and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, the real question is, what kind of policies will Bangladesh adopt? Will they change from the policies we've had in the past year and a half? Will Bangladesh continue to claim Indian territory? Will Bangladesh continue its persecution of Hindus, its massacres of Hindus? Will Bangladesh continue whatever it is doing in the far east of India? Will Bangladesh continue its relationship with Pakistan, with the ISI? These are the questions you should be asking. I think these things will continue. These nice tweets and handshakes and all, they are of no importance whatsoever. So let's wait and watch how this evolves. This guy, Tariq Rahman, becomes the new prime minister most likely. What kind of policies will he adopt? Let's see the next 6 months. I suspect nothing much will change. Maybe the behavior will become more polite, the relationship will become more cordial, but behind the scenes, the same policies will continue. Then what's the big deal? What's the big difference? Nothing. Nothing has changed then. So that's what I think will continue.